Mongraal's just returned back to Fortnite with the start of Season OG, so it's only right that 3 years later I showcase his updated settings for the true OG vibes. I'll also showcase his new mouse sensitivity which has maintained his godlike aim, and finally we'll check out his recent setup makeover. Please drop a like if it helps, subscribe to the channel and use either my code or Mongraal's code in the OG item shop. Alright, so starting off with his video settings, he's still on full screen, he's still on native 1920 by 1080, he's capped his FPS at 240 FPS to match his monitor's hertz, and he's also on performance mode which gives him a massive FPS boost this season. In addition, his brightness is on 90% and he is not using a colorblind mode, with his view distance on near, his textures on low, his meshes on low and his show FPS turned on. For his game settings, he's using toggle sprint, his auto open doors are off and he's using hold jump. He's also got his disable pre-edit option turned off and he's got his auto confirm edits on none, which means every edit he makes is manual. For his HUD settings, he's got his reticle turned on, his reticle ammo indicator turned off so there's no visual display of the ammo. His damage amount is on list so he manually has to add it up himself, and he's also got his reticle damage feedback on hit only, which looks like this on screen. As for the rest of his HUD settings, his HUD scale is on 63% and all the rest are pretty much default. Next we've got his mouse and keyboard sense. Now for his X, that's now on 9%, same with the Y. His target and scope are both on 33.3%, with both built-in sensitivities on the default 100%. All of these sensitivities are on a mouse DPI of 800 and a hertz of 1000. Along with that, he's also disabled mouse acceleration in Windows, and I'm pretty sure he's also using the default mouse sense in Windows too. Next we've got his movement controls, and he is using custom diagonal controls with the forward on 65, the strafe angle on 90 and the backward diagonal on 135. As for his audio settings, his main and music are on the default. He's got sound quality on low, 3D headphones off and visualize sound effects is turned on. Moving on to his keybinds, he's got his sprint on V and his movement controls are just default. He's got his reload on middle mouse button, his use on 3, harvest student tool on Q, slot 1 on 2, slot 2 on E, slot 3 on R, slot 4 on 4 and slot 5 is on X. For his wall, I think he's using mouse button 5, his floor is on N, or that'll be a mouse button I assume still, and his stairs is on mouse button 4, with the roof on left shift and his trap on C. He's also got his repair on 1, his rotate building on 5, he's got his built-in edit on F as well. Moving on to his gaming setup, here's what it looks like on screen. It looks pretty good and pretty modern, to be fair. I really like the look of this. It's featuring a mouse which is either his original Logitech G402 or his new Logitech G Pro X Superlight. His mousepad is the glorious 3XL, his keyboard is the SteelSeries TK-L7, his main monitor is the BenQ Zowie XL2546K, and I believe both his side monitors are LG ones, such as these ones on screen. His headset is the HyperX Cloud 2s, his desk is a adjustable sit/stand desk, and his chair is the Herman Miller Aeron. For his PC specs, I'm assuming he's using the i9-13900K, the Nvidia RTX 4090, the MSI Z690 Unify X motherboard with some decent RAM, probably 32GB to 64GB, and a SSD with at least a 1000 watt power supply. But moving on to his Nvidia settings, firstly I'm pretty sure he is using the latest driver with all the newest settings. Along with that, I'm pretty sure he's got these exact 3D Nvidia settings set up on screen. If I slowly scroll down, you can see them all right here. These have been optimized from this tutorial on screen. For his network settings, I'm going to assume that these have been optimized too. If you go into your desktop now, Windows key plus R, then put in this command right here. Then go into network adapters, select your main connection. If you right click on this and update the driver, that is highly recommended to make sure you're on the most latest drivers for that. In addition, you can go into the properties too and optimize some of the settings within here. The power management, you want to uncheck both of these, then go into advanced, and if you basically copy my settings on screen right here, this should improve your internet and lower your ping. Moving on, we've got his Windows settings, which I assume have been optimized as well. If you go to the start menu on the bottom left, then go into system, then go into about and click on the advanced system settings, then go into the settings here under the performance, adjust for best performance and tick all of these boxes on screen. You can also go into your game settings, turn on game mode if you like, and also make sure hardware accelerating GPU scheduling is on. This works better for higher end PCs. Also in the privacy tab, under the background apps, you want to make sure all of those are turned off. And another thing you can do is press Ctrl-Alt-Delete, go into the task manager, find Fortnite running while the game's opened, right click on it, go to the details, then under the shipping exe, if you right click on it and set the priority from the default normal to high, this should give you a pretty significant FPS boost as well. Next we've got his Epic settings, which I assume have been optimized too. If you go onto the launcher to the top right, click on the settings tab and make sure to copy all of these preferences right here, and most importantly make sure the desktop notifications are disabled, as these can cause lag spikes or rather hitches / stutters. Then if you scroll down to the bottom right here, you can go ahead and put these command line arguments inside. That's LAN play, no splash, and use all available cores. Here's what each one of them does on screen right now. In addition to that, you can go back into the launcher, specifically under the game, click on options and make sure you've got all of these Fortnite install options like this on screen. Most importantly, you want to make sure that the disable cosmetic streaming is selected / enabled. A bonus thing you can do is to go into the library, click on the 3 horizontal dots, go onto manage, and then under where it says installation, if you click on this little install folder, it'll take you here where you want to select Fortnite game. You then want to go into binaries, then Win64, then you want to go ahead and open up the easy anti-cheat setup.exe. If it doesn't open initially, you can try running it as administrator, and if that still doesn't open, you can back out and go underneath it, this one right here, and then you should just be able to open this one like normal. And as you can see, it's fully worked. Now what you want to do here is try to repair this service, and that could potentially fix your game crashes and other issues. You can see it doesn't take long at all. Once it's installed successfully, click finish. Another thing you can do is press the Windows key +R on the desktop, go into local app data, then find the Fortnite game folder, go into saved, go into config, go into Windows, go all the way until you see game user settings, open that up, and then you basically want to copy the exact settings I made in this video on screen. I'll leave a link in the description below. After that, back in the run box, do the same process, but this time go into the Epic Games launcher, then saved, then config, then Windows, and inside the engine file here, you want to paste in this command, which I'll have in the description below. This is something that's been recommended by Epic Games themselves to better your download speeds. And that right there has been all of Mongraal's new settings in Season OG. It's good to see him return, and I hope he sticks around, but we shall see what he ends up doing. Thanks for watching the video, and be sure to check out any of my other videos on screen right now.